Hello, Future Bestsellers. We are live today, of course, because it's a live stream. Yeah. Hey, how's everybody doing? We're very happy to see you today. We are going to continue our conversation this week that we started last week about giveaways and whether or not they're a good idea or not. We didn't have a chance to get like super deep into the conversation. So we're going to be talking about that this week in between our breaks. But we also, next week, you guys are going to be talking about anti-heroes, because I had posted this morning on my Instagram a link back to an old Wordstock video. And if you guys are new here, you may remember Wordstock and you may not. Wordstock was something that Robert had actually put together, where he would ask a number of AUTHORTUBERs to do a video on a certain topic. And if you search for Wordstock and go back there, like there was like a how to write the first chapter. There was anti-heroes. There were, Robert, help me out. I'm trying to think. Well, there were a number of great topics.
Yeah, there was rating the first quarter. There was a lot of different topics, suspense and tension, what the difference between the two was.
Right.
We had a lot of them, and there's going to be, once I start my channel up, I'll probably bring that back, but not like I was doing back in 2020. I tried to make it monthly because we were all kind of spiraling with the world on fire.
Yeah.
And we were at home. What else were we going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
I know you kept us all on task, which I'm very grateful for at that time. Yeah. So so it's an excellent series, and I'm very glad to hear that you are going to resume it. So that got us talking. RC piped in this morning and said that that they were working on a story right now with an anti-hero. So I've been watching The Boys, which is, anti-heroes galore. So so I'm really, really excited to talk about that next week. So this week we're going to keep talking about book giveaways, since we wanted to continue that conversation. Before we go any further, let's introduce our fabulous co-hosts. I am going to start with our good friend, Faye Caro Black. Hello, Faye Caro Black. So glad you're here today. Tell us a little bit about you and your channel.
Well, my channel is not active right now, and it's probably going to stay that way for a hot minute. But I am an author. I write urban fantasy and romance. And if you're interested in those, shoot me a DM. I'll send you links to my book. I'm here today to work on this epic fantasy that has gotten out of control. It's currently sitting at 150,000 words. So
it's a super epic. It's a super epic.
Thoughts and prayers. Okay, thoughts and prayers.
You got it. Story Detective is here with us today. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
Well, my channel, which is also on hiatus for a while and will remain there for a little while longer, but there is a backlog of over 100 videos talking about craft in most every subject, and those word stocks that Lisa mentioned. So there's a lot of good information. I think that people don't always go back and watch older videos, but
but they should.
If you're interested, they're there.
Yeah. No, I totally think they should. It's interesting that you think that. I want to actually dig into that, because my analytics do not prove that out. I have some of my more popular videos are older videos.
It depends on the type of evergreen content that you're pushing out and what people are usually searching for. I could probably go through these blog posts that I've been having come up since December.
Yeah.
And the ones that actually do really well are the ones that new authors are always searching. So it's the evergreen stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Michelle, welcome. We're so glad you're here today. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
All right. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult and middle grade author. My channel is writing workshops, writing blogs, and traditional publishing chat. And today I'm working on a draft for a ghostwriting client.
Yay, very, very nice.
Outline on Monday, by the way. So that's 1 down, 2 to go in terms of my June deadlines. Yay.
Well, that's good, right? Because we're in the middle of June. So you're right. So you're right on track. Good work. Oh, that's a lot to have that much kind of pressure. I have several clients that have that had deadlines that started in I had July, August, and September, and now they've all pushed to October, which you'd think theoretically would be great, but it's not because everything has been pushed. So now I have three books going in October, which is scary. So yeah, there's that. All right, but at least there's more lead up, like for you, all in June. Ooh, that's a big one. All right, so hi everybody. I'm Lisa Daly. This is my channel. I'm traditionally published and I'm a hybrid author, and I write contemporary romance and a nonfiction dating and writing advice. So welcome. We are super glad that you are all here today. Let's say hello to our friends in the chat. Woohoo! All right. Darling Writer, you are here first today. Happy Wednesday. We are very, very glad to see you. RC is awake. That's a win. That's a one. Aw, Claude, thank you so much. It has been really, I don't know about you guys, but where I have been, it has been hot and 1,000 degrees, but the weather has just been so sunny and beautiful. It's been really nice. I've been out on the patio. We've got like a nice lanai, so that's something like popular in like Hawaii and Florida, where you can like be outside, but you're completely protected by a screened-in area, so it's like bug-free. Really, we got ceiling fans, really nice. All right, Caro's here. Hello. Ha 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 ha. It's 11:09. Not going to happen today, honey. I appreciate the effort, though. I really do. Very, very nice. Jacqueline's here. Jacqueline Kirk. Oh, I love your. I love your avatar. That is super cool. Welcome. We are very glad you are here today. Yes, so we are talking about giveaways today, and so Caro dropped it. She just wrote a great post about giveaways, and so I asked her if she'd please drop it in for you guys. Hello, Michael CB Chen. Very nice to see you. Ta-da! Cool Gamer is here. Hello, Cool Gamer. We are very glad to see you. Morgan is here. I don't know why I felt like doing a dance, but it's because I'm so happy to see you. Yes. So RC, we were talking about that earlier. I think you were here when I started talking about it, but yeah, this is what made us sort of think about when I posted this morning over on my Instagram, and then Robert you jumped in, and so we were talking about whether or not we should talk about it, and I think it's such a great topic. So we're going to cover that next week. Speaking of that, who wants to be in charge of reminding me that that's what we're talking about next week? Carol Brown, coming in for the win. Thank you very much. You guys know I need it. All right. Devin, can't stay long, but I'm glad you managed to watch. But we're so glad. Thank you, Devin. Yay. First half of the revised outline for my graphic novel. Ooh, that's awesome. All right, you guys, what are you all working on if you have not already? Let us know. Travis Bickle from the Taco Driver. I do not know that, but let me just say, right? But I weirdly love the title. Probably because it has the word taco in it. But I sort of love it. Travis Bickle. I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah, Tony Montana from Scarface. Absolutely. Hello. Very, very glad to see you. Oh, thank you very much. We super appreciate it. JC is here. Hello, JC. We are very glad to see you today. RC says Chicago has been a humid inferno all week, made worse by working in the docks. One, forget the smell of fresh air.
You're in the heat dome that we were in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know. I was just thinking about you when I think I saw on the news last week that there was like this big heat wave, and they were talking about how Texas and Midwest were going to just get.
It was exceptional. Like, I'm used to some pretty hot weather, but like the air felt like an acid fog. Yesterday, it was 98 degrees outside, and it was a relief. Like you could do
it. That's saying a lot when it's 98 degrees and a relief. That really is saying a lot. And Music for All is here. Hello, we are very glad to see you. All right, I'm gonna try and make it through. All right, so Sky's working on, or not Sky, Shannon's working. Sorry, all the S's, you guys. Shannon's working on the first book in the new series. What? Romantic Fantasy with Dragon Shifters. Current name is Scales and Feathers. All right, very nice, very nice. Morgan's working on revisions. It's actually going well, so I'm excited to keep working on it. All right, I will try not to ramble forever. Pharaoh put a curse on my phone. Now everything autocorrects to taco. Caro, did you do that? That sounds like you. Jacqueline's working on Jacqueline working on an epic fantasy today. Only a dozen chapters in. Very good. Michael's here. It's 1,000. Lisa, it's 1,000 degrees. All right, I love you, Michael. I am going to get our 5-minute sprint going, but first, Caro is going to ramble on for a few minutes while I look it up on YouTube.
How y'all doing today? I get the Fahrenheit and Celsius thing because when I lived in England and people used to like give me a temperature, I'm like, which side? Because now I'm confused. And then they would be like, oh, you have to do this and divide it and then add this number. I was like, just add like 32, and that's roughly the number that you're looking for. So.
Yes. All right, that was an excellent job, Caro. Thank you very much for the assist. I really do appreciate it. The 5-minute timer. Oops, I almost gave us an extra camera. Oops. Oop, that's a thing. Who's done that? Has anybody tried that on a live stream yet? Having the extra, I don't know if it would be like the writer cam or.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, StreamYard had. You have the fancy. We have the mid-level version. I do not have like the super fancy version, but if you have the mid-level version.
Oh, it's got tiers now? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's it's just going without us. It's like this timer's on Caro's time. It's like, yeah, we should have already started by now. Okay. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do our 5-minute warm-up sprint. We can get our documents ready, get your drink if you don't have one. I think you guys will notice I now have a lid on my iced tea because last week I spilled during the middle of a sprint because I went and knocked it over. All right, everybody, let's get started. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. 5 minutes sprint. All right, we are back. So one thing about having like the big fancy microphone setup that I have now, so you can see it. Woo, so cool. Is that I have to remember to actually bring it over. So if you couldn't hear me before, it's probably because my microphone was like 15 inches away. Is this better? Or am I like too loud now?
No, it's good.
Very,
Yeah, it's
you're
good.
very podcasty.
I do feel very podcasty. Well, yeah, exactly. Although you never know it, right? Because I have the low arm instead of the high one, and so which I really like a lot. But you can't see my beautiful color coordinated microphone here. I'll show you guys.
Ooh.
What? Look at that!
That's really
Nice.
Fancy.
Thank you.
I
Super
just have
fancy.
mine over my monitor.
What
that's
is it? What kind of microphone is it?
It's a Shure. So wait, hold on. Can you not see? Oh, it's on the other side. It's because I'm like there. See? Yeah, it's kind of funny. So Mike, aka the Horror Geek, got me the microphone, I think for like our anniversary, because I had said that I was thinking about starting a podcast, and he bought it for me, and he already has this mic and loves it. And so I was kind of excited about it. And then I don't know, like 2 weeks after he bought it, he saw the there's like somebody who does like the custom colors. And so he was like, "Oh, I just saw this. That made me think of you." And I'm like, "I haven't opened the box yet." And so he sent it back and got me the pretty one. So
Oh,
I know, right? He's a keeper. Yeah, okay. So how did everybody do in the 5-minute sprint? You guys all ready to run sprint cast, right? Love that. Okay. Marty Mary's here. Hello. We are very, very glad to see you. Very nice. Oh, Laura Nettles is here too. Hi, Laura. Super glad you are here today. So I feel like I missed something. Yeah. Oh no, this is where I left off. Okay, cool. All right. So I think we all talked. Did we talk about what we were working on? I know you guys all talked about what you're working on today. I have been sitting on number 3 of the Newsletter Ninja video series. I did 3 videos and I posted the first 2 on time. I was going to post the third one and I just did. It's done. Everything's done. I just need to post it. So that is my goal for today. I will also like to get some writing done. But if I do nothing else, that video is getting posted today. So there you go. Shannon, open document, answered emails, very important. These are all authory things that we have to do. All right. So you guys will be happy to know I have already pulled up the 20-minute timer. So we are free to talk about our topic of the day, and that is giveaways. I know. I feel like, hold on, let me see what I've got here. What do I have that's available to me? Wait, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is really funny, actually. I have that clip of like a 1970s dating game or something episode. It's not that, like it was some we looped it anyway. So I have that footage because a while back I did a live stream for the US Book Show, and I got like a bunch of mystery authors on, and we did like this like fake game show called Readers Ask Authors. And I feel like we should bring that back because first of all, I have an awesome intro for it, and second of all, we have the clip of the people clapping, so I feel like we should put that to good use.
So when we give a crass answer, we can have like some claps afterwards. So we
yes. I don't know why we don't use that more often. I feel like we should. Okay. So yes, that's the answer. So if you give an awesome answer or a crass one, or you give me crap, or you make me snort laugh, you're getting the clap. All right. So here's our question. Good idea, bad idea to do book giveaways, right? Or just to do giveaways in general. Let's not even limit it to book giveaways. We are just talking about, should you do giveaways to promote your books? Does it help? Does it not help? Is it a big waste of time and money and other things? Oh, thank you very much, Shannon. I appreciate that. And Heather is here joining us, so I'm very glad to see you. All right. Claude. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Claude. All right.
We're here now. Accept your fate. Resign yourself.
I know, right? Now that I have it, everybody's like, oh yeah. So I want to know what you guys think. So Carol went through the trouble of writing a whole blog post about this, which I absolutely love. And right, I really do love the effort there. So why don't you go first and talk about your thoughts and feelings on whether or not you should do giveaways? I actually do have strong feelings about giveaways.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you and I have polar opposites.
Well, I love that because I love a good discussion.
Yeah. So I did a couple of giveaways because that was, I was told that was the thing to do by other author tubers. So I was kind of like, well, that's what I have to do. That's what I'm going to do. And I advertised it. I put it on Twitter. I talked about it on YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that. And I did that for about 30 days prior to my book coming out. And despite the prizes that I had, and none of it was the book because it was a pre-order giveaway. So if you're pre-ordering the book, then, and that was probably one of the first thing that I did wrong, because the only time people are going to be interested in a pre-order giveaway are going to be people that want to buy your book anyway. So what I really should have done is probably target people that may have been interested. Mm-hmm. But so I had a whole 8 people in 30 days, go in, and one of them was in France. That I didn't know what to think about that, but I took it. And I probably spent, with all the prizes, the money, I think I probably spent like $150 on it. And, and the downside about pre-order giveaways is that, they order the book and that's great. But that investment that you put into it doesn't always yield any kind of book reviews that are really more important, in my opinion. Like anytime I go get a book, I want to read the reviews and see what people like or didn't like about it. And that's really what I needed, so if I could do it again, I'd probably find a way to just find other people and try and encourage them to review the fucking book.
Well, I will tell you all a little secret. Ready? If you know when your book is coming out and you have a 5 or 6 month lead time, there is actually a great site that a ton of indie published and traditionally published authors use, and it's called Hidden Gems. And they and you go on the site and you pick a date on the calendar, and I think their first available date right now is in November. But if you know when your pub date is going to be, or even if you're not quite sure and you have a kind of a general idea, you can pick it. And if you're in a popular genre like romance, fantasy, mystery, they have so many people that if you're wrong on your date, as long as you give them enough notice, they can sometimes find you an earlier slot, or they can push you to a later slot. So you're kind of just taking you're just saying okay, I want to reserve one of these. It's $20 to kind of reserve your spot, and you pay by the review. You're not paying for reviews. What happens is they put an ARC available to their reader group of your book, and then a number of people will say, okay, I would like to sign up to review this book. And your reviews are not good. This is not like a deal oh, you can get 87 5-star reviews. It is not like that. They are honest reviews. And they will say in the review, that I received a copy of the book via Hidden Gems, but they, and then he'll charge you based on however many people said, I want the review. But it's a good way to get a good, I can see everybody's looking it up right now. It's a really good way to get a number of good, valid, actual reviews from people who read in your genre, who have actually read your book. And as long as you can plan ahead a little bit, it's a really effective tool, especially for new authors who maybe don't have that newsletter base or don't have a base of readers that they can expect to, that your natural audience will review the book. So when I worked as a publicist, we use this on a regular basis, especially for new authors to kind of boost things. But honestly, if you're an established author and you're looking to boost your number of reviews, because as you guys probably know, you need a minimum of 40 reviews on Amazon in order to qualify for a Kindle Daily deal. You need 30 at minimum to qualify for a Kindle monthly deal. So sometimes you're like, stuck at 28 and you need a little help. So they really are fantastic. I highly recommend. Okay, giveaways. Go. Sorry, I didn't mean to like sidebar there, but I was like, ooh, I have an answer for that question.
No,
Okay.
that's really good and fits into, what I was thinking. So you're looking at 30 to 40 giveaways minimal to score on Amazon.
Yeah.
Would you recommend more than that or
Oh,
stay
yeah.
with that?
Yeah, well, so what they do with Hidden Gems, you can say like, oh, stop at 10. Like you can kind of set your budget. Like $20 is like the minimum. And then if you say, like for my genre, like for romantic comedy, it's it's sort of a smaller subset of romance than like contemporary romance would be. And so usually the most I could get would be like 40 or 50 from them. It really depends on the book. If you're writing but if you're just writing romance, like if I wasn't really niching down my audience, then you could, I don't know what the maximum is. It's up to, I think it goes up to like, you can top out at like a couple $100 and then however many people, but you only pay for, like, if you say 50 reviews, then that's how many you pay for. And generally, in my experience, you actually get more than that because there'll be some kind of stragglers who come in later who want to do it, but he bills you right after. So
Question number 2.
yes.
Would this be better to try to link it up if you have your email group sending out that to lead people to your website where they can buy the book there and get some interaction with your site going?
Yeah.
Have
So
a giveaway set up for a certain number, maybe have some bound arcs to give away, and
yeah.
would work
Yeah,
out.
no. I think that's all a good thing. I will. So one of the things that I do think that giveaways are good to build your newsletter list and to get people. And that's what I always want to do, because anytime you have them on your newsletter list, then you can send them to your website, or you can send them to Amazon, or you can send them, wherever you want on that particular day. So yeah, I do think there's that. But Faye Caro Black, our good friend Faye Caro Black, I think had some other thing to say, and I want to let you do that first, because I sidetracked our conversation and I didn't.
I thought the sidetrack was very meaningful. I guess for me, because I don't really have like a big established fan base, and there's not like a lot of trust for me to give to new readers, especially when I was initially doing it. Like that was part of like why I didn't generate a lot of interest, and that's fair. Maybe if I did one later, if I have like a more established reader base, it might be a little bit more successful. But like as a new author, I did not have a great success with it. And I'm sure you can come up with like great tips and tricks and stuff like that for everybody.
I think it depends on how you do it. I have found that like pre-order contests tend to work better with nonfiction. And because a lot of times you can do like a lot of bonuses and things like that are more kind of relevant to that audience. And I do like to always like reward the newsletter subscribers. So I'd always do like a giveaway, but you don't have to give away 50 copies. You could give away 1 copy of your book and have people engage with your newsletter by, answering a question or telling you something. Like I did a giveaway because I read Book Lovers by Emily Henry and I loved it, which is right in this sweet spot for my newsletter audience. And so I said, hey, I'm giving this book away this summer, and it's like this perfect sort of readery romance. And so I had them respond to a question, which was something like, what's your favorite thing about summer? And the reason for that is because, one, it gets them engaged back and forth with my, engagement back and forth with my audience, which increases my deliverability for my email list. So Google's like, whoa, look, all these people are responding to Lisa. They must really want to read her newsletter. And so they'll deliver it. And so that is, and also it builds affinity with my newsletter subscribers, right? Because I'm giving them stuff. It gives them a reason to regularly open my newsletter. I don't give them stuff every month or every week. But it's like the monkey with the cocaine bar, right? So sometimes you get a treat. if you're a monkey addicted to cocaine. I'm very sorry.
Well, and I remember when I was trying to build up my readership list initially, and they were like, you should do newsletter. Again, this was another AuthorTuber saying this is how you can build up your newsletter, and it was like a monthly giveaway thing. And I did that for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, I kept saying like sign up and be randomly picked for a thing. And I would randomly pick people from a generator, and not one person wanted to collect. And so I ended up actually having like a whole box of like giveaway stuff that was just unclaimed, and I didn't know what to do with it.
I would recycle it, or sometimes I'll call people out in the newsletter. I'll be like, hey, Megan, open your email. And so, right, because then the people are looking for their name. So I would recycle that stuff. If people have not claimed it after, you know,
I've moved, it's gone to Goodwill.
Okay. But yeah, so there's that kind of stuff. And what you give away doesn't have to necessarily be a physical book. You can give away, if you've got a friend who has an arc that's in your genre, like a digital copy, you can do that. You can do newsletter swaps to give away, you know, magnets and things like that. It doesn't always have to be something that you buy. And I do think you want to keep rewarding like your newsletter subscribers, because those people become like your major core fans. But when we're talking about doing other kinds of good giveaways that can really benefit you, one of the things we talked about last time was newsletter magnets, so that you give away a short story or maybe the first book in your series to get people hooked on your series if you have good read through. And I have not done very much with Facebook ads, but one of my clients has the first book in their series. It's paid on the books, like on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, etc. But if you sign up for the newsletter, you can get that first book for free, which is a deal that we struck with the publisher, because he's got like 9 books in the series. And one of the things that we'd experimented with was Facebook ads for the first book giveaway. And so like for $25 or $30 on Facebook, we ended up with like almost 200 new people on his newsletter list because of that giveaway. And that was just a test to kind of see like, okay, this is the Facebook ad. You know, I tested like 5 different visuals, and then after that we started testing other copy. But all those tests, like, which again, I only spent like $30, netted like close to 200 new people on his newsletter list who have now read the first book. And we know that, you know, however many, big percentage of that, 42% of those people will read all the way through the series. And so that free book is going to net him on average like $12 in sales. So kind of worth it. Mm-hmm. It's harder to do giveaways to an advantage if you are not writing in a series. It definitely, that first book is the way to go. All right.
What
go
does
ahead.
Michelle think?
Yeah, that was just what I was going to say.
I am listening to all of this, and it all makes so much sense, and it's really interesting, and it's giving me feelings of laziness because I don't do any of this. And we've talked about this before, and I know you guys know what I'm going to say, but like, it's different with middle grade.
It is.
Marketing is just a different thing when you're talking about kids as readers. And I was just sitting here thinking, okay, all of this stuff, again, it makes so much sense. And honestly, Lisa, hearing you talk about it, it makes me feel motivated to do something, but I just don't even know where to start. And again, here's where I'm coming from. Okay, I have 15 middle grade novels that are traditionally published that are like not IP. They're advance against royalties for me.
Yeah.
And 14 of those books, some of them I tried really hard, especially in the early days, Goodreads giveaways and all that stuff. Like I put a lot of money into it and my own resources. Some of them I didn't do anything, and they all sold fairly lowish. And then I have one book that I actually earned out the advance, and it sold like crazy. And it's 100% because the publisher advertised it. They pushed the crap out of it. And that gives me, that was great, but it also has left me with this kind of defeatist attitude of, it doesn't matter what I do. It's just what they do. And I can't help it. It's like, it's this blog. I don't know. It seems like so much work. And if it pays off like that, that's great. But I haven't seen the evidence for myself that it will.
Well, and the thing is, like, that's such a good question. And we should talk about that, not next week, but the week after, because it can feel like so overwhelming, like you have to do all the things.
Yeah. There's
so many things to do. And that if you're not doing this, oh, thank you, Caro. She's putting in the plan. Right. there's so much pressure to do all that, and so what works for one author or works for one genre doesn't necessarily work for another. Like for me, I always admire middle grade authors or kids authors, because one, your audience is a constantly moving target because they're getting older. So it's not right. So, and I have a friend, Eileen Cook, who wrote, her first book was like a chick lit book. And then she immediately moved into middle grade and young adult. And then now she's writing like regular adult. And I think that was so smart, because basically her books aged with her audience.
Yeah.
And so now she has now she has like people who start in with her middle grade stuff. She did this like Tales of a Fourth Grade Fairy stuff, which was a really fun little series. And then they read her YA stuff, and she did a bunch of those. And then yeah, and I thought, like, that is genius. But that's a problem for you. I mean, right? How to reach those,
like you said, kids age out so fast at that age. By the time your third book comes out, they're graduating high school.
Right. Well, and this is the thing, like, right, with children's books, a lot of times it's not until like the second generation of readers where you have the kids who read the book when they were little kids read it to their kids, and then it like spreads more. I know it's challenging. I do not have I would still do a newsletter for you, but I feel like I'd almost focus more on kids librarians and teachers, right? Because they like your kids age out, but they don't, like, they're with third graders for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So for me, that's what I would do. Okay, so let's see what everybody has said in the chat. Laura says, I give away a couple ebooks of the anthology I was publishing to celebrate my first ever published story on a live stream. Woo! I wasn't getting royalties, just a celebration. And that's good, right? It could get people talking about it and all of that stuff. RC says, I'm the perfect storm for giveaways. I like free stuff and hoarding. That is good.
And that's one of the cons, not to derail, but that's one of the cons about giveaways, is that you will just get random people that just want stuff. And again, that goes back to like no sales, no reviews, no nothing. They just want the stuff, and then your book goes somewhere.
Right. Yeah, that is always something to consider for sure.
So, question for Michelle. Your mystery, are you looking to traditionally publish or self-publish that?
I'm going to try to find an agent with it first. That's step one, and I'm just going to see how that goes, and I'm not thinking too far past that point.
I haven't really talked much about, like my science fiction series, but the Holmes one has a couple of one-shots, and then it has a longer series. But having read a lot of Avid mysteries, like what I'm doing and planning for the giveaway for my one book, is that it's from 4 different points of view. And all the points of view skip the main character, so you don't actually know what he's thinking, what he's doing. The reader magnet will be from the main character's point of view, leading up to a plot point in the story and leading them into it.
That's really cool.
Love that, Robert. That's so great. That is what Newsletter Ninja calls a convertible cookie, right? It's something that will bring people into the series, but also it's something that current readers of the series will love.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's really cool.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. That is absolutely fantastic. All right, you guys, let's do a sprint, because I know we're 40 minutes in. I haven't done our first one yet. Bad Lisa. We're going to continue talking more about this. I love this topic, and you guys have like such great perspective on it. All right, here we go. Hold on. We're going to do our very first 20-minute sprint. Wait, hold on. I was all excited because I thought I did it, and then apparently... Hold on. I didn't get the right one. Dang it. What am I doing here? 20-minute timer each. Sorry. Here, I thought it was so good. All right. Here we go. Now we're rolling. Let's get the stream up. Sorry, you guys. Here, I thought I was going to be so on top of things, but no. All right, everybody. So we are going to get started. Let's get ready to roll. Well, we're starting right now. 3, 2, 1. Let's write.
All right. Hold on, I've got like a weird like echo thing happening. Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect. Oh, what did I do? Hold on here. All right, very good. Okay, how did everybody do on the last sprint? Yeah.
Good.
All right. Yay. Fantastic. Yeah. How'd you guys do in the chat? Let us know. All right. RC says, back on topic. Hold on. I'm going to come back to you, RC. Shannon got 425 words. Woohoo. Very, very nice. Awesome. We have good. Shannon's got some really good information going on here. Let's see. What do we got here? Yes. Okay. Let's go through some of our questions while some of the comments about planning while everybody talks about how they did. But you guys want to go around and say how you did, or you're just going to say great? Great. I did great.
I'm almost finished with the last scene in part 1, which is not my entire first quarter. It's about 3/4 of the first quarter leading up to, I guess, what you might call the call to action.
Nice. All right. Very, very good. Very nice. How about you, Kara? How'd you do?
I wrote 749 words in this
Very.
book that I said doesn't need to be longer.
Oh, right. I forgot we were cutting that down. All right. Good job. Sometimes you have to write more to write less. I don't know if that's true. I just made that up.
I'm accepting it's a mammoth book. Maybe somebody will read all of it. I don't know.
You know, they will if that's how long it's supposed to be. Michelle, how about you?
I wrote 728 words. Did I hear Carol say 729? Did I wrote
49.
Yeah.
49.
We're so close.
I know. You guys are amazing. Okay, so good. I have no idea how many words I wrote because I was kind of flitting around doing different things, trying to figure out. I'm like, oh, I can't really upload the video during the stream, but I can get all the other stuff ready. And then I realized, crap, I have to upload the video first before I can do all the tags, everything. So I'll have to do that after. So now I'm like, okay, what should I be doing today? All right, so let's talk about, we've got some great comments from the chat. Shannon did 2 giveaways with my newsletter for my last book launch last week. Woohoo! It went well. Both winners claimed their prize. I've joined giveaways to build my newsletter, but I lose about 55% of those. So it's still good though, right? Because you gain 45% of, so a lot of times, did you join like a book sweeps kind of thing, or did you do something like a group giveaway where everybody like signs up and you get a whole bunch of new email addresses? So I'm kind of dying to know about this. Let's see. Shannon says, I'm okay with the subscriber loss because I wouldn't want to keep someone on my list who doesn't engage. That is key, right? You want to completely get rid of those people. They're not doing you any favors. And I think we talked about this. I talked about this with the Newsletter Ninja in her in the videos that we did. And that is like, it feels good to say, oh, I have 20,000 subscribers on my newsletter list. But if you only have 500 that are actually engaging with you, it's way better to have a super engaged list of 500 than a massive list of 2,500 or whatever, 5,000, 20,000 where people don't engage. It hurts you to not have a good, clean, active list. Look at you. From giveaways, I added nearly 5.5K to my newsletter. Wow. Between unsubscribes and culling, I kept about 2.5K. That's fantastic. That is a really, really good number. RC does not see themselves as being a giveaway type. However, I might not have a choice if I end up getting sucked into comic book world. That feels like it could be a plot of a movie anyway, doesn't it? Or a book.
It's a good question. What if you don't necessarily want to give away a book or an entire issue of a comic, especially if you're doing a graphic novel?
Right.
You know, you don't want to give the whole thing away. So
yeah.
How does it look?
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to ask how it looked in the book world as far as giving away percentages. We talked about last week giving away ash cans, which is like a first issue or part of a first issue. Could
Mhm.
even be just a short story with your main character to introduce people and intrigue them into that world. And most comic books would set up on their website the first 3 to 5 pages, or if
Right.
the company gives away, they used to give away like these little brochures to comic shops, and they would either put ads or a few pages into that, just enough to give you some intrigue and pull you in.
Right. Well, yeah, and I think that can be a really good strategy. And the thing is, with any author promotion, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. There's a million ways to get to your destination. You do not have to do it in the same way I do it, or Michelle, or Robert, or Caro. Like there are always a million options. If you hate giveaways and you don't want to do that, I find the giveaways are a good way to reward your newsletter subscribers, and also, so I'm much more likely to do giveaways to people that already buy my books. But also, I think it's really important to think about like not cannibalizing your own sales, which is always a concern. That said, one of the things I do love about giveaways is that it gives you an opportunity to talk about your book without selling it overtly. So if you're like, oh, I'm giving away this book and it's about this, blah, 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 right? Then you're telling them about the thing that you're going to give some lucky winner for free, which maybe feels a little bit different than buy my book. And you can always be,
Sorry, it's me.
so like, who lives under a jet? All right, very, very nice. Is there is there a war happening today that I'm not aware of?
No, I live between 2 military bases and an airport, so this is normal.
Well, that's good. Although, when we lived in briefly for the longest period of time of my life, when we lived briefly in Minneapolis, there was an airport nearby, and you sort of just get used to it. And I would kind of imagine when I was wishing I was somewhere else. It was very short. You guys know how I love the warm weather. So in the brief and terrible time I lived in Minneapolis, which was, I think, about 20 months, I used to pretend that sound was the ocean. Just to like sort of, there you go. Okay, so more. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I had kind of a funny story. My first apartment when I was still in art school and first started getting into the comic book business, I lived across the street from a firehouse. So we would have the fire whistles every once in a while. And I just got back from a trip to DC Comics. And as soon as I got home, there was a message on my answering machine from one of the editors I talked to, and he was giving me a fill-in issue. So I immediately call him back. And suddenly the fire whistle goes off. And the editor's like, what the heck is that?
Well, the good news is he was never going to forget that phone call. So
No, it was memorable.
That's great. Morgan is almost halfway through revising a chapter. Yay! Very good job. RC just wrapped up the climax. What? Very, very nice. No. Okay. I don't have the regular thing up with somebody. I feel like maybe one of our wrenches could maybe put Jedi in a timeout. Shannon, some group giveaways, one sponsored by a book promotion company to help a struggling author. So I think that's good. Book Sweeps is similar. They do a sort of group giveaways, and it's a good way. As long as you're onboarding those people, doing a good job onboarding them, bringing them into your list, letting them know who you are, that can be really effective. Heather, I was working in Canva, researching Instagram templates for sales and announcement, editing a template. Look at you. Very nice. All right, guys. So let's go with another sprint. I feel like I want to catch up because, we usually get at least 3 in, and we are a little chatty at the top half. So let's do one more sprint, and then we'll come back to our topic and talk some more about it. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate it. All right. I don't know why I have so much trouble with this whole concept of. Wait, what's happening here? Oh, it totally went away. All right. guess what? We're gonna talk for another minute on that. Chloe, once again, find the time. It's really eluding me today. Yeah, so there we go. Let's talk about group giveaways. Have you guys ever done one of those where you pair up with a bunch of authors in your same genre in order to do a big group sale or a group giveaway in order to like boost your newsletter subscribers or generate more interest for, like, if everybody in the giveaway or the promotion, the group promotion does like a 99-cent sale for like a certain week in July or something. Is that anything any of you have ever done?
I have not, and I have not been invited. I'll also admit I don't think I've ever had the bandwidth to do that because it seems like a lot of work. Because I know Tamara used to do newsletter swaps, and it was always, I used to just see how busy she was with it, and I was just like, no, not for me.
It can be a crazy thing. It can also, though, be a way to line up like a ton of eyeballs before a book launch, which is one of the reasons I think to do it. Okay, I have finally gotten our timer back up. There we go. All right, we are going to put 20 minutes on the clock and let's do another sprint. Everybody get your little fingers ready and we are ready to write. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. The timer can't count. Sprint. All right, here we go. I cannot find the banner. I totally lost it. Where did it go? All right, there it is. All right, you guys. So how did everybody do in that last one?
Good.
Good.
I finished my scene and I hooked up the Alpha Smart to my iPad and opened a fresh document and it's printing it out. I like to see the way it prints across the lines. It's a little slow, but kind of satisfying to watch at the same time.
I love stuff like that. love, 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 love. That is absolutely fantastic. How about you, Michelle? How'd you do?
I did good. I got 400 words, and it was slower because the character had to write a poem, and I suck at poems, and so I sat there for like 5 minutes. Like, it's
Tried.
excruciating for me. I'm so bad at poetry. But
Well,
yeah.
that's good though, right? You're just right in the mind of your character there. Faye Carol Black, how about you? How'd you do?
I did pretty good. I had a sneaking suspicion that I had already written the scene, and so I went to where I have like my writing software, and I found it at the very bottom with a note at the top that says, "I hope you remember that this is here."
Oh, good gracious. That's hilarious. Benu's here. Hello. We are very, very glad to see you today. Very, very nice. Shannon's here. Hello. Great to see you today. Very glad. How about you guys? How did you do on this last one? All right. I was like doing some prep work for uploading the video, even though like my grand master plan to put it up feels like not a good idea, bandwidth wise. So yes, but at least I'm making progress. It will go up today. I promise you that. Yay. I know. I'm very excited about that. So did anybody else have anything to say about newsletter give? Michelle did mention Goodreads giveaways, which I don't know. Did we talk about that last week or not? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
You were all for it, and we were like, we're poor.
Yeah. Well, the other thing though that you can do with Goodreads that is not going to cost you money, it will just cost you a little elbow grease, is to like really start building up a network of people who are, who like the kind of books that you write, and also the people who like your specific books. And then when you're posting on your Goodreads blog about your stuff, then you'll be letting them know, because that goes out to all of your friends. And so that's like another
blog.
way. Yeah. Well, no, like you can just post like your regular blog stuff on your Goodreads blog. I would not do the thing where it like automatically populates, because even though it's owned by Amazon, the thing is still wonky. Like if you use like the RSS feed to populate your Goodreads blog, the formatting is always messed up. It looks terrible. Your only option is to like cut and paste, unless somebody else has found some other thing. Shannon says, thanks for the sprint. Thanks for the sprints. I got to get my kiddo for an appointment. I'll leave this up for your watch time. Oh, thanks. That's so nice. Also catch the replay for see the rest of the giveaway combos. What about giving away non-booky things? I have seen authors give away Amazon gift cards and things that are not related to their books.
I did a survey because, that's how I roll.
I do.
Yeah, and one of the things I found that readers really like are like pencils, bookmarks, things like that.
Yeah.
Again, and then it always goes back to like, how much is it going to cost me to make this and all this other stuff. But every now and then, if you time it just right and you watch all of like the promos and the discounts, like somebody will be like, you can print 500 bookmarks for $10. And I'm like, yeah, give
that
now.
Vistaprint, and there's some other places like often have like deals where it's really, really cheap. I will say, if you are planning on doing like if you're going to bookstores to do signings, or if you're going to do any kind of tour, or even just like in your local area where you're going to do a bunch of drop-ins in bookstores, I think that bookmarks are actually a really great giveaway, because most bookstores will let you put a little stack of your bookmarks on the counter, because readers are always asking for bookmarks. And so now, is your bookmark going to reach the right reader? I don't know. But the other thing is, who's also at the counter all day? The people who work at the bookstore. And so if it's intriguing enough, they'll go look at it. But yeah, bookmarks, right? So Claude's like, oh yeah, can't have too many bookmarks. Also, bookmarks are good for I don't know. They're just
that
like
took me a
good.
hot minute.
They're just good to have around.
I was going to show you the bookmark I had if you guys are still on that topic.
Yeah, we're still talking about
Okay.
bookmarks. Wait, hold on.
So this bookmark I had made is from the inside cover.
Hold on, I'm making you big. Okay, go ahead.
It's from the some of my book has like chapter art in it. So this is one of the scenes that's in there, and it's got like the name of the book and who the publisher is because they were really big on that. I need a squishy marker right now to just. But on the back of it, I have like the synopsis of the book, and then this code right here is a link to all of my social media, my website, my everything. So you can just scan it and it populates on the phone.
I love the idea of doing a QR code on the bookmark. I actually did one for one of my clients, actually same client we were talking about earlier with the Facebook ads, because he's giving away the first book in the series for free. And he is out at conferences all the time and doing all kinds of events and always doing bookstore drop-ins. And so that was like great because basically the bookmark is like, hey, you can get this thriller for, the first book in this thriller series for free. And so far that's been really successful. I do have, this is like my favorite bookmark. Let's see if you can see it. So when I did the original version of 15 Minutes of Shame, Partita was a sponsor of my tour, Partita Tequila, and they made a margarita recipe. So what they did was they made bookmarks for me, 15,000 bookmarks. Is that insane? Which has my website and all that stuff. But on the back, it has the margarita recipe. And we just papered pretty much the United States with these bookmarks during that time.
Yeah,
What if you gave like an incentive like they do for, coffee and some of these other sites where I don't know how much it would cost investment of money, but Caro, you have like the Red Bubble account, right? How much would it be to get like a number of mugs? Because people also like coffee mugs and say, okay, like the first 10 or 20 reviews will get this free mug, as like an incentive.
Yeah, I gave some mugs out as a gift. I don't know if you guys were here last week, but Amy was like the big giveaway winner, like totally random, no favoritism. I didn't even know Amy very well at the time, so that was actually how we bonded and became friends. But she won the coffee mug. And for me to make the coffee mug with some kind of art on it, it was like $6. And there's like a template that you can use that will like wrap it. You have to, like right now. And there are like coffee mug templates that you can go and you can populate so that way you know what's going to be all around it. And it's not super annoying, but it was a little annoying for me because I had to go in and make two separate items, one for the coffee mug and then one for everything else because of the way that the wraparound was. But yeah, $6. I bought 3 of them and I sent all 3 out. So whether they're being used or not.
Who knows? I will say bookmarks are things that readers generally like, but a lot of times you use them like when you're doing a book signing, you'll pop it in there. And so maybe it reminds the reader of like, oh, she has another book too. So if I like the book I just bought, that they might look at another title of yours. Like I had leftover 15 Minutes of Shame bookmarks because again, I said 15,000. I think that was the initial run. I think actually they did 2 runs of 15. And, if someone else is paying for your bookmarks, then why not? But I still have like one little stack left. And
I've got like 100 in there. And so I was just like, maybe I should just go to every coffee shop and where they put business cards, just like tuck those in.
Just put a bookmark up. I will say though, of all the promotions, while I personally love I like author bookmarks and I don't know how much they drive sales, to be honest. Like I like them as a human.
Yeah. So an interesting thing, if you guys ever, this is totally derailing and redirect me at any time. But a really interesting thing is that, and when I was originally looking at like merch and things to give out, I actually was looking at things that do well at conventions because you're asking people to carry stuff. And a lot of times if they don't really want your stuff, it's going to drop on the ground at some point. Right. And so when I was looking at stuff that would go to conventions or panels, it was always like pencils, bookmarks, things that they can easily tuck into like a bag bag and pull out later. And so
Right.
that's always been where like my driving incentive, like I don't want you to throw my shit away.
Well, one thing like that I always love to give away is bags. Like I would rather give away like at a convention, if you give away like a cotton bag, which are actually cheaper than you might think. People really do love that, but they're not necessarily the people that are going to be your readers. But if you were at a genre specific convention, that might be a good plan. All right, let's try. It's 12:47. You guys want to try and do one more speedy sprint or just gab through the rest? Your vote matters. You good? Michelle, you usually have to go right after. Are you okay for 20 minutes now? And we'll just do a quick pop off at the end.
I'm good.
All right. You guys all good?
Yeah, I'm
right.
almost finished with the print job here.
All right. That's good. Okay. I'm going to go to the timer, which for once I have already queued up. Look at that. And we are going to do our very last sprint of the day. All right, everybody, get ready. We're going to put 20 minutes on the clock. And here we go. Make this one count. All right, everybody, we are back. So thank you so much for doing that very last sprint. And we are going to get you guys out of here because I know everybody's got stuff that they want to head off to. But thanks for staying for the last one. I really appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and go around and say our goodbyes. And then we will let these fine folks get on their way. So I think I'm going to start with you, Story Detective. You always come in like second, so I feel like I never start with you. I always start with Michelle or Caro. So you get to go first today. Say your goodbyes, darling.
Okay, well, as I said, my channel is still on hiatus, but there's video plans in the works, and currently drafting a novel after being on some burnout leave. And hopefully everything will keep flowing as it does with all of you. And as I always say, keep your keyboards clacking because it'll always lead you somewhere.
That is so true and such good advice. Caro, how about you?
Hello, my name is Caro Brown. I write urban fantasy and romance. You can find those on Amazon if you're interested. Thank you for having me. I worked very hard to edit a manuscript, and all I did was add 2,000 words to it. So thanks.
All I did, she says.
All I did was add 2,000. You know, that's like a lot of people's like word count for the day that you just knocked out in our little
Okay, well, I was trying to edit words out, not add them, so I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah,
I feel ya.
I always add things too, and I end up adding more than I take away sometimes. So it's an issue.
It is. It's a challenge for everybody. Michelle.
Hello. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult middle grade author. My channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Blogs.
Thank you so much for all of you, to all of you for being here today. And of course, thank you to all of our regulars in the chat. We are very, very happy to see you. Heather's been working on some announcements. She's ready for a break. She's going to do a little HB90 book camp. That's for Sarah Cannon, if you guys are not familiar. And thank you. We had such a good discussion today. And of course, I'm super happy for all of you guys to be here. So, all right, we will see you next Wednesday. Everybody, keep on writing.
Stay
Bye.
tuned for anti-heroes.
That's right. Next week, we're talking about anti-heroes. Woo.